Hi there. I was going to make a video about the score view in Studio One, but then I realized for all you new guys coming from FL Studio, coming from other DAWs, Studio One is your first DAW. Important thing to have is macros. Like, macros are life-changing, and this are must-have macros I'm going to show you now, right? So let's get into it. First things first, Personas Exchange. Here you can get lots of things that people can share, that people have shared, I mean. Macro pages are like bundles. You can get whole pages with lots of macros that will show up here. You got the macro button and then you have pages. Other than that, you got the macros here, but there's so many, and it's like, what are you looking for? You don't, maybe not even aware of what you need, what you gotta have, right? So I'm here to tell you the first thing I can't live without anymore. Like, I can't believe I've used so many years doing this. Boom. 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 And even boom. EQ. Boom. I've got these on hotkeys. So when I need a EQ, let's say I want the stock EQ, boom, one button. Actually two, because I use Control 1 for the stock plugins. So if I need a compressor too, I can just go, right? Awesome. So if I need an EQ on all these three, I can just click Control 1, and we got an EQ on all three. Because the most used plugins, the plugins you use on every single channel, like 1,000 times a day, add them to macros. Let's check how it's done. You go to the macro organizer, you click new, you choose insert, and then you go down here, add insert to selected channel. You double click this, click device, and you can either have an FX chain that you made earlier, or you can have just one single plugin. So let's find Pro EQ there. There we got Pro EQ. You can choose a preset or just leave it blank. I like to leave it blank since it's on a hotkey, and I will just change the preset afterwards so I can use it for more things. It's more cookie cutter when you don't have a preset on. You just use the default. And then you click OK, and you call it add EQ, let's say. And I put it in a group called add, and then you click OK. I've already done it. So it's... Where is it? I know it's here somewhere. Is it up here? Add EQ. Have I written something wrong? I probably have. Yeah, I probably have. It's somewhere else. But the macro at least exists. So if you go to the general settings, the keyboard shortcuts, and Control 1, it's the add EQ macro. Control 2, add compressor macro. And I promise you, when you're working and want to work quickly, and you're just going through and you're like, oh shit, this has some low frequencies I don't want. Control 1, click there, boom, done. It's like, it's so quick instead of, and then, because EQs you will use like all the time. Let's say you use one EQ and you're like, and you can just work through it so quickly. Now to number 2. This one is another lifesaver. Like, let's say you have 5 tracks with audio and you want them to go to a bus of choice, right? What you would do is click them, add bus for selected channels. Then you got the bus on the end here. But then in this view, they just stand around. And let's say this is all drums and you want all the drums in one complete like small package. You would go here, click add to folder. You would click the folder, connect the folder to the bus, and then You got it. Right? Now there's a macro which I haven't made myself because actually if you try to make it yourself, you won't make it work. For some reason, it's the function to add the bus here is not listed in the functions here, functions menu. So you can't actually do it yourself. You need to go to the cloud and you need to search for bus folder. And you choose bus folder macro. And here you got a bus folder macro plus naming, if you want to have that. Yeah, this is the oldest one. You can see here it has 1,125 downloads. And that's way too few. Like, this one is such a lifesaver. Because what you do then is, let's remove this. And let's take all these guitar tracks. And let's remove the bus too. All these guitar tracks. If I click F, it will use this bus folder macro. Boom. It goes to a bus. It's made a folder, and I call this guitar. Now, if you check both views, it's done all those steps with one button. So every time now I want to bus something, let's say we make 2 more tracks here, and I want to have this in a bus, I can click F. And I call this backing bus, right? Or let's call it drums even. And then if I want to add more drums to here, let's say I have another drum up here, which is a snare. I'll just drag the snare into this, and it's already connected to this bus. And I can close both of these, and by using this function here, link visibility, both in the console and here, you will see hidden and showing, like they're hiding and showing if I want to. So this way, you can have your whole huge ass project very organized and nice. So that is number 2, the bus folder macro. Number 3, if you have some sort of Stream Deck or just got a lot of keys that are ready to be used on your keyboard, you can use find and hide options. Now, to make a macro like this, let's go see if it's under F for find. Yeah, let's find hi-hat keys per drums. Find drums. This macro right here is just filter tracks. But the cool thing, because you can filter tracks, right? You can go to the track view and you can filter here. But the cool thing is you can filter by more than one word. Thus, if you choose drums here, I can filter tracks by kick, snare, hi-hat, perk, tam, impact, hat. And you just write every word you can come up with for drums, as you see here. And if you add anything here that's called drums, kick, snare, hi-hat. If I now click my macro button here for drums, it will show the drums. And if I click bass, it will show nothing. But let's say then I call one sub, and I call one 808, and I call one bass. I can now click drums, get all the drums, bass, get all the bass, drums, bass. Let's go vocals. Oh, no vocals. Let's call it chorus, rap, back, harmony. It's bass, it's drums. Oh yeah, harmony and back is on the backing vocals, because I got a macro for backing vocals and one for vocals. The chorus was not listed. Oh, that's kind of sad. This chorus could be anything, so I didn't add it. But let's also add then a pad. Pads, then I go find all synths, and it's pads. Find bass, find drums. Find guitar. There's no guitar. Let's go guitar. Let's go banjo. Let's see if you got banjo going. No. So that means I would have to go here, macro organizer. I would go to guitar, and I would add baritone guitar, and I would add banjo and sitar. You can just add so many words you can come up with, right? So if I choose to have verse, let's see if I find it in vocals. Yeah, because when people record vocals, I usually write verse when they start doing some verse singing. And also song, I think I got for singing. No, I got it in Norwegian actually, so I could actually add that too. So let's go to macros again and find sung. No, that's the wrong one. Find VOX, vocals. Main song. Doom. Now, if I click the find vocals button, I find vocals, I find drums, I find bass, I find pads, I find serum by clicking the synth, all synth button, and everything. I got all these on the Stream Deck. So let's say you just want a few of these. You can even have them on the keyboard. Let's say you use 3 buttons with modifiers to find all these different things. Or you could just do it how everybody else does it, which is use the macro pages here, add your own macro page. You do this by clicking new group. No, that's wrong, actually. New page, page 9. And then you go here and you just, you have to click here, new group. So there I got a group. In this group, you click new button, and then you assign this button to macros. And then you can make your own macro page where you can find, let's go assign macros. Okay, it's easier actually to do this, I think. Let's see if it works. Find vocals. Boom. Boom. And then you can actually add a menu button instead. So you can have a button like this. And then let's call this button find or sort. Let's call it even sort. That's even better. And then inside this sort button, you start adding a new button. No, that's wrong. Come on. Inside the sort, you add a new menu, actually. Yep. Assign command find base. This one is okay. We just assign it and it names automatically. Let's see. Find drums. Now, when you're in a big project, it's so great to just be boom, 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 boom. So if you ever like going through and like, oh, where's that kick and where, the only thing this requires you to do is to actually name your stuff. But if you take the time to actually name the stuff, well, profit. It's so easy to navigate big ass projects by just find the drums. And you're like, oh, the kick. Nice. And if you want to find a particular thing and select it, I can just click monitor. And you use the find function for that. And the find function is not a macro. It's just, let's see, find channel. There it is. This find channel thing. And find channel is find and select a certain channel, like drums. It just selects it, finds it, brings it to your focus. So let's find rap. And it selects it, brings it forward. You can mute it, do whatever. Then if you go into the selection here, the filter options, of course, here you can choose show all tracks. This is lots of filters too. But here it's these filter options you use when you use these macros. Because filters is like if I filter after sub, everything that's named sub will show. But then I can use comma, and use sub and snare. But it takes forever to find everything in a project if you were to write all these down. So that's why you make a macro where you just click one button, boom, you got all the drums. Now this was way too long, but let's continue. Let's see. Find show all. This is show all. Yeah, thank you. Wait a second. Yeah, this is the right one. Show all. Because I got hotkeys for that too, like show all and show all with events. Because that way, if you got lots of empty tracks, but just a few with stuff going on in them, you can just sort by tracks with things going on, tracks with events. It's here. Show selected, show tracks with events. And you can hide empty too. So if you show all tracks and hide empty, boom, you can see only the ones with stuff. Let's show all again. And let's remove all of this. And continue to number 4. For our number 4 spot, we got a very easy macro that I don't even have on a hotkey. I just have it in my macro bar here, which is if you have a whole song. Let's see, the song goes like this, and they're like, and if you want to export this, you can either use these start and end markers, or you could just drag and set your loop range. But let's say you want to export everything you've been working on, and you know your song ends when everything ends, and you want to do it quickly, and you want these start and end markers. You can use the start end macro. And my guess is that I found that one too here, start end. And there it is. Start end just does what you think it does. It when you got a song and you click start end, it just marks the start and the end of your actual events and what's going on in the song. So if you got some reverb after this fact and you want to have that, you can just boop, move it over a bit. Now number 5 is this one. Let's call it Vox. And let's just record some shit right here, like, boo! That's it. And let's try this macro right here. Reverse reverb. But let's do it in stereo, please. There. Now this one follows Studio One. But the fact you can create macros for these effects. So if you have a certain effect like this that you constantly use, and you just want to do it quickly because you know, like, yeah, I want that sound I made earlier. You can even have reverse reverb and just have a drop down menu with many different, because all you need to do is to check here and go to come on, find the right thing. Reverse note, no. Actually, let's just go to the Explorer/Finder and just find it here. It's called reverse. No, it's not even called that. Assigned to. Which command is it assigned to? Come on, show me. What's the name? Edit macro. Oh, you could just, lol. You could just click here, edit macro, and then you see apply reverse reverb. So it's called apply. Okay, so let's go here, choose apply. Copy this, let's say. Duplicate it, insert it, and then you go back to the macro page here, and then you click apply, and then you would get 3 of these, and you could go in and you could change the settings. Like you could choose another reverb and thing, or other tail, or everything. You could change which type of reverb you wanted, so you could have 3 different, like one long reverse reverb, one short reverse reverb, one whatever. Yeah, this by adding effects like this quickly, you have less control, I would say. But if you're in a session and you just want to slam in some effects that you have made previously, or even that like this is stock, it's just so great. Because let's say you have this idea and the person like, yeah, what do you think we can do to make, or can you get like this voice like what effect on my voice? And you're like, yeah, come on, record the mic. And then you're like, and then you're like, and like reverse reverb, and like, there are more like normalized to -12, and there's a lot of different macros. If you just click use these, you can explore the different ones. But yeah, my top one, number one, effects on, add effects as in add inserts like on hotkeys by using macros. Game changer. Folder bus macro. Game changer. And the rest of them are just nice to have. But the two first one, bus folder macro and add inserts on hotkeys macro, hands down best thing that ever happened to music producers. Let's say that. So yeah, this was way too long, and thanks for now.
Hey, you may know me as the silly boy that never really cared enough to play a part in your game. Then I turned into a pretty boy, now I'm getting women low, but I only care about pain. Spent hours in the studio, saw the light came out the dark like I'ma make a full album that I'm out deep. Babe, you know my presence, I'm stacking up precedents all the way up to